We had a big year for us. So we started the company 3 years ago. We spun out of a proprietary trading firm in Austin. Spent first year and a half kind of building the product and then went to the market. For us, last year was big. So we quintupled our sales, quintupled our clients. So we're almost to 20 clients now. Really focus on the risk and surveillance space. So we have, prop firms, FCMs, brokers, banks, exchanges, and we're now just starting to move into the BuySide and corporate space. So really gratifying year for us, really starting to do some interesting things and trying to be a real player in the marketplace. And so a lot of it was understanding the marketplace better for us and putting all of that knowledge back into the product. There was a mad rush early on to build out the compliance infrastructure and surveillance infrastructure at a lot of these firms, and they're going back and looking and reviewing what they're doing. And I think that's they're looking at newer technology, looking at trying to actually satisfy the needs now that they've gotten some more experience out of that. And so I think us raising our profile, being able to go across asset classes has helped us a lot. And then just being out in the marketplace. It takes time for people to feel comfortable with who you are and what you're able to do. And so that has driven, I think, a lot of our uptake. And then we keep trying to increase our profile. We're competing against some large players in this space, and so the more we can be out there, the more we can develop our brand, the better. And so I think it's all kind of building on itself over the last year and a half. You have to mention cryptos. I think the crypto market is really a beautiful opportunity for us that has presented itself over the last year. With all the crypto exchanges, there's hundreds and growing all the time. With the increased scrutiny of the regulators, those exchanges are going to have to adopt more rigorous surveillance and risk policies. We are really well suited. It is a interesting challenge. Some of these surveillance areas are nicely defined to where you can train the machine pretty well off of the types of data that we have today. Other areas are not so defined, and I think as the technology stacks get better in the machine learning space, it allows for chief compliance officers, governance organizations to pick up more subtle behavior that isn't necessarily caught in their kind of traditional safety nets. For us, there's two main challenges that we have at every client, and the first is data quality. We are trying to stitch together lots of different systems doing lots of different things. And every single implementation that we do is a data integration challenge. So we got to have good quality data. We have to have reconciled data because we really want to make sure that we're running these algos, these procedures off clean, good data. Because if you don't, you generate a bunch of false positives and it's worthless. And so that by far is still a big challenge and continues to be a big challenge and will continue to be a big challenge. I think for us, the other really big area is market data and reference data. The costs of acquiring said data is enormous and only growing. I think the industry is addressing that or trying to at least take a look at that. And then reference data, right? Every market center, every venue defines instruments differently. Again, to be able to stitch that together in a cost-effective way is a huge challenge. And even clients who have licenses to data, sometimes the venues don't let them use that for risk and surveillance purposes. And so there's a lot of ins and outs and machinations that you have to go through just to get the data into the system so that they can do good risk and compliance. And so that will continue to be our challenge going forward for as long as we probably do this business. It depends on how you define the space, but reconciliation alone is a multi-billion-dollar business. Financial control, surveillance is a multi-billion-dollar business. These are big businesses that are growing. And even I've seen $70 billion risk IT budgets last year spent. So we're going to grab and nibble pieces of that all over the place. We think it's a big opportunistic market for us to go after.